For several weeks now, the 390 has looked basically like this, untouched, hanging on stands, as we wait for parts to arrive. And despite how in disarray it may look, we're actually fairly close. Today we have a lot of fun stuff to do. And before we get into this, I really want to thank our oldest sponsor, Moto Station. They have been invaluable with this video in particular. They helped us with the installation of the cartridges. It's not an incredibly complicated job, but it's a job that requires a lot of special tools that are just not really worth me buying for something I'm going to do once every 3 or 4 years. Moto Station, thank you. Check them out, and we'll move forward. The 390 came with a set of Andreani cartridges for the forks. Those are going in. You basically have to completely disassemble the fork, remove all the old internals, which are pretty rudimentary and simple, and install the new parts. Let's take a closer look at the old internals. This is the old spring. It's a progressively wound spring, you can tell, because coils that are closer together are gonna create a softer feel, coils that are farther apart are a stiffer feel. So the idea behind a progressively wound spring is the initial bump absorption is really soft and gentle, and then as you get deeper into the travel, it gets stiffer as you go. Fine for street riding, I tend not to care for it, but the valve in this thing is really crazy simple. These are the ports that the oil flows through, and as the oil flows through, it pulls pushes the spring down and opens the valve. So that's your compression damping and your rebound damping. As the oil flows through, the spring controls the rate the oil can move through the valve. Compression damping, rebound damping. Fascinating, simple little thing. However, it's not at all adjustable. So there's no way to tune this for your style riding, or if a track's bumpy or a track's smooth. You can't make any adjustment to this. It is what it is. Each of these cartridges in the Andreani's, one leg becomes compression damping, the other leg becomes rebound damping. Typically, the right side is rebound damping, or rebound right. So that's usually how they do it. I suddenly loathe the idea of working on the ground. We need to make sure that both caps are at the exact same height. The more precise you can be here, the better your life is. Now on a track bike, you tend to adjust and tweak these things to get the geometry that you want. You can slide the forks up and down, raise the rear shock to kind of alter the bike's geometry, change the trail number. But whatever that adjustment is, we want to make sure identical. These need to be exactly the same. Oh my gosh, now they say these wheels are heavy, but good gosh, they're heavy. So we're gonna change the tire. So we're gonna weigh them and see just how heavy this stupid front tire is. And because we recently changed the wheels on the 848, we'll be able to compare this front wheel with the 848 wheel. See which one is lighter. This one's heavy. It's really ridiculously heavy. Like unbelievably, irritatingly heavy. Oh my gosh, the rotor's heavy. All right, let's see what it comes in at. And the number to beat is 4.4 kilograms. 5.4. That is stupidly heavy. That's ridiculous. All right, let's see how heavy the OEM rotor is. 1.8 kilos. Let's see what the KTM Performance Super Light rotor weighs. 1.26, so half a kilo lighter. I guess that's gonna be worth it, maybe, I hope. Now, I tend not to really be a big fan of frame sliders in most situations. Over the years, I've seen them do far more harm than good. But I do believe in sliders on the bottoms of the forks, because if a bike falls down, invariably these things get all beat up, and that's an expensive part. These things are only a couple bucks. So these are the KTM official axle sliders for the front axle. So it basically replaces the nut, the main axle nut, so it's no longer a 13 millimeter. It is a hex head, or a Torx. All right, now is a really exciting moment. The rear shock, and for those of you who don't know, K-Tech is probably the best kept secret in motorcycle suspension. And for those of you who do know, you understand that K-Tech is probably the best kept secret in motorcycle suspension. So we're gonna open the box for the first time here. It's so little. It looks like a mountain bike shock. Let me show you this thing. Like, look how little it is. It's so cute. I think the shock on the Zuma is bigger. So I think what we're gonna have to do is pull this little hugger out of the way, lift the bike up so that the wheel is basically hanging free, and then remove the shock and put the new one in. I think I can do this without removing the rear wheel, even though removing the rear wheel isn't that big of a deal because it needs a tire. Rear shock out. This one is like physically so much bigger than the other one. Now, the internet tells me, the fine folks over at RC390 say to raise the rear 13 millimeters. So we're gonna measure this and then make the other one 13 millimeters longer. Look, it says USA on the bottom. USA, USA. 305 millimeters, 303 millimeters. So we will lengthen. I'm always just completely amazed at how easy it is to replace a shock, and then you just immediately see just incredible gains in performance. So 2 bolts, 4 bolts, tweaking this thing to get it to line up, and we have a rear shock with 13 millimeters of rear ride height. Pretty easy. The chain is super loose. I'm already on the table. I'm gonna pull the rear wheel, change the tire, and adjust the chains. Since I'm here, while it's apart. All right, it is now 1 week later, and I'm super excited. I just got a call that the paint is finished. And this is my absolute favorite part of the whole thing, is putting the bike back together. All right, I think that's it. I think the only thing left to do now is that we really need to look at it. This is the almost final version of the KTM 390, inspired by Moto3 bikes and KTM's brilliant RC8C. I have jokingly named it the RC3C. Over the course of the build, 20 kilos, almost 45 pounds of weight have come off the bike. If we do some back of the napkin math, that means this bike probably weighs around 135 kilograms. For now, we're ready for the first track day just 1 week away. Look, when it comes to building a track bike, I really believe the energy should be focused on first making sure that the bike is mechanically sound, and we did that with the valve adjustment and kind of going through everything. Next is body work, if not only for financial reasons, but to have a catch basin in case something does go wrong. We're on the track with other people. We don't want something to cause somebody else to fall. And third is suspension, and that's where we focused our energy. Now, knowing me, I will probably end up putting a full exhaust system and doing a bunch of dyno tuning, and I'll probably end up doing it this summer. Now, something I haven't told you guys is this bike isn't even for me. I've been building this for Mrs. Canyon Chaser, who refuses to be on camera. She's incredibly shy. Even though she's been riding with me since 1995, almost 30 years, all over half of the world and back, she's never really shown much interest in track riding until this year. So this is for her, and hopefully she has fun with it, and if she doesn't have fun with it, then I probably will. Now, I really want to thank a lot of you guys who've been incredibly helpful along the way with advice, especially Andy. Andy's given me a ton of great advice, and honestly, it's Andy's fault that we started down this road last fall when he kept decimating me lap after lap after lap on his KTM 390. Guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the track. Ride on and ride well.